Okay, hello guys. Now, what if for our regression line, we aren't given the x we were given as a data for education and the y we were given as a data for labor wage, kind of. What if we have that? And they ask you to still derive the beta IV. But remember that an instrumental variable, it is not found here. So we have to just bring it out, isn't it? So the instrumental variable here is the father's education. How does the father's education have influence to the child's education, or as the case may be? All right. So we have to use this data to impute here and see what will come out with. This is the instrumental variable, which is the father's education. This one is the education, and this one is labor wage or whatever. Okay. So what do? We don't have the error term, so we have to make out for the error term, and that will give us from here we have the labor wage minus this goes becomes your alpha, this goes, it becomes your beta education equal to your error term. So we are going to replace this here. All right, so we now have the covariance of further education. All right, remember this comma, we have our labor wage, all right, minus your alpha minus your beta education, close your bracket. Remember, everything is equals to u, which is this, and equals 0. All right, now that you've got it to this point, you're now going to share the covariance to father's education and labor wage, covariance of father's education and alpha, covariance of father's education and beta education. Yeah, but note from my previous video that this education here is the x. All right, so sometimes the table will be given, you will not be given x, you'll be given education, data for education. So you make use of the data for education here, right? So we now have covariance father's education, comma, labor wage, minus covariance father's education, comma, alpha, minus covariance father education, comma, beta education, close bracket, equal to 0. All right, now recall also that the property of instrumental variable, this we have to come to multiply. So you have covariance father education labor wage minus covariance father education alpha minus your beta covariance father education equal to 0. All right, now remember that father education and alpha automatic, the covariance of this is 0. Why? Because this is a constant term, so the covariance of a constant term equals to 0. So this is out automatically, you can just cross it out. So you are left with covariance father education labor wage minus beta covariance father education equal to 0. So this we have to move to the other side. You have covariance father education labor wage, all right, equal to beta covariance father education all right. Now since we are looking for this parameter beta, we have to divide both sides by by covariance, further education. So we have covariance, further edu, labor wage, divided by covariance, further edu, education, equals to beta covariance, further edu, education, over covariance, further edu. So these two we cancel, you are left with just beta, right? Now, if you are left with just beta, what then are you going to do? All right. So you are left with beta equals to this covariance, further edu, labor wage. Remember, this labor wage can be the dependent variable. Not even can, is the dependent variable. This labor wage is the dependent variable y. All right. While this education you have here is the independent variable x. Now, the further education is the instrumental variable z. Okay. So what we did is the difference between this and the previous derivation we did was the fact that we have to make use of the actual data here. So divide by the covariance of further edu. Okay. Now, how do you now expand? How do you now expand this covariance? So your beta IV will now be equal to this, which is further edu minus further edu mean, the mean of further edu, multiplied by labor wage minus the mean of labor wage. All right. Then divided by, remember, summation. Okay. Divided by summation of further edu minus the mean of further edu. Then education minus the mean of education. So this is it. All right. This is it. All you have to do, if you follow it up this way, if you have any question, you ask. But if there is no question, if you follow it up gradually, you don't have a problem. Don't forget, the labor wage is the independent variable, is the dependent variable. The labor wage is the dependent variable. The education is the independent variable. The further education is the instrumental variable. Okay. So in other words, this is y, this is x, and this is z. So in case data are given without you seeing y, x, or z, just know that this is exactly what they are looking for. Is that okay? Bye.